This is one segment of a longer DVD featuring the SP Red trains, the Peninsular Railway, and the Sacramento Northern that once served in various areas around the greater San Francisco Bay plus Contra Costa County until all of it was gone by 1957.
The great 1906 earthquake and fire in San Francisco helped give rise to a population transfer to Oakland and its surrounding communities. The time was right for the SP to replace its steam commuter trains with electric trains in the East Bay. The SP had been losing business to Borax Smith's key system since 1903. The streetcar in this view is an example of the competition. The SP built a few supplementary streetcar lines, gaining its franchise in Oakland as the Peninsular Railway. There was once a grand plan to even connect the two systems in an expanded network. As this U.S. Navy parade passes by, we see a passing pair of World War I era SP heavy electrics in downtown Oakland. Oakland was growing into a large city with a seaport and manufacturing center. What SP brought to the Bay was a state-of-the-art, clean electric transportation system. Known as the Oakland, Alameda, and Berkeley lines. The SP owned a large fleet of ferries that connected the East Bay to San Francisco and other Bay cities. The old 1898 completed Oakland Pier and Ferry Terminal was operated in addition to the nearby Alameda Pier to the south across the Inner Harbor Channel. The old Oakland Ferry connection, known as the Oakland Mole, connected transcontinental passenger steam trains as well as the new electric trains to San Francisco by a 3.5-mile ferry ride. In these early views, the new tracks and overhead wiring are ready for service with a fleet of 67-foot-long electric interurban cars. SP's system was built as a state-of-the-art 1200-volt DC operation, in contrast to older origins of the Key system with its 600-volt operation. The SP Ferry Sacramento is heading out from the Oakland Pier, powered by its steam-driven walking beam engine. The Sacramento carried up to 4,000 standing and seated passengers at 14.5 knots. Across the bay was the San Francisco Ferry Building at the foot of Market Street. It was the centerpiece of Trans-Bay service until the Bay Bridge was built. The new bridge is in the background, ready to redefine Bay Area transit habits. The San Francisco side was the corporate headquarters of the entire Southern Pacific Empire, with its building that was once a prominent feature of the city's skyline. The 260-foot-long Berkeley dated from 1898, and she stayed in service well after the SP Red trains disappeared in 1941. She was one of the last two SP ferries in service, working into the 50s. The Berkeley was one of SP's slowest ferries. She was used to shuttle passengers of the glamorous Southern Pacific and Western Pacific streamliners to the Oakland Mole from San Francisco. The Berkeley was usually on standby, while the ferry San Leandro was the main ferry until it all ended in 1958. Returning back to the pre-bridge days and the Alameda Pier, we'll take a last look at the ferry Oakland with its walking beam engine. The Alameda Pier originates from the old narrow-gauge South Pacific Coast Railroad in 1884. From this humble beginning, the SP rebuilt the fire-destroyed facility in 1902. At first, the SP used it for steam locals, but by 1911 it became an all-electric operation. These scenes show the hustle and bustle of commuter life in those early days. It was the brakeman's job to reach outside the vestibule to operate the sliding screen door control at each stop. After Alameda's closing in 1939, this large landfill area shown here was used for the Naval Air Station. Inside seating was for 116 passengers on simple 3-2 across rattan seats, with lighting provided by bare bulbs. These 124,000-pound cars had 4 GE 125 horsepower traction motors, and they were noticeably quicker than the Key System's bridge units. A 460 by 200 foot concrete shop was built in Alameda to handle cars propelled by electric traction motors. Inside, the shops were noticeably cleaner, lacking the customary sooty ceilings found in steam engine shops. These shops would eventually maintain the first diesels of the city of San Francisco, since SP waited until after World War II before replacing its steam locomotive fleet. The SP Red trains also had a pair of baggage units numbered 700 and 701. They carried a good deal of mail and express packages from Berkeley to the Oakland Pier to be ferried across the bay to San Francisco. These units were members of a system total of 177, consisting of coach, baggage coach, and unpowered trailers. Most were built in 1911 and 12, plus a handful in 1924. The largest supplier was American Car and Foundry, with others coming from St. Louis Car and Pullman Standard. In 1911, the areas served had a population of 200,000 people, and it was roughly doubling every 10 years. Most used public transportation of some kind. These trailers will show the round portal window modification to eliminate the early, as-delivered, rectangular in windows that provided crewmen with less protection in auto collisions. The pair of baggage cars were stored in 1938 since the Berkeley mail run to the Oakland Pier ceased operation. They eventually went to the Pacific Electric in Los Angeles, where they served until 1953. SP3 was a 1930 gas-electric built by EMC and Pullman. It was designed to run on main and branch lines with low passenger traffic. This type of car was maintained in the Alameda shops since they also used traction motors. Many of the quaint little stations had a Victorian-era theme, quite common in the East Bay at the turn of the century. Over the years, business declined with shorter trains, victims of the automobile and growth outside of service areas. By 1939, the system had eliminated ferry service and simplified its trackage to this configuration. We'll look at Alameda circa 1939 with some great color scenes. With the coming of the Bay Bridge, the SP turned the electric trains over in 1934 to an operation named the Interurban Electric Railway, or the IER. In a deal with the California Toll Bridge Authority, much of the equipment was deeded to the state in exchange for funds to convert the system to bridge operation. When the system was first built in 1911, there were unfulfilled plans to convert one of the steam local lines to electric operation to the south. Optimistic ideas saw the SP electric lines connecting all the way to the Pacific Electric in Los Angeles. Another line north from Berkeley was also planned to run to Richmond. In what now seems like flights of fancy, some predicted ultimate connection to SP's electric system in Oregon as well. These early scenes show an undeveloped Berkeley at Thousand Oaks around 1912. 3 lines connected to this area. Early construction used SP's equipment and steam road construction standards to build a system that would last. SP used 90 to 120 pound and sometimes heavier rail. At first, SP steam power was used in building the line in the wide open spaces of Thousand Oaks. Once the Thousand Oaks substation and overhead wiring was up, the public saw the end of the steam locals and the new electric service. We returned to 1939 to see a well-developed neighborhood near the Classic Oaks Theater that is still serving the area. Another Berkeley line was the 5 line using 9th Street. Before the bridge service, the front disc signs with route names were used. These were too difficult to see in the fog, and the single-digit numbers were adopted. The SP's trackage in the Berkeley area was simplified in 1933 in a Depression-era agreement with rival key system to eliminate costly overcompetition. Eventually, the key system would inherit abandoned SP tracks on Shattuck to Northbrae. A single car approaches the location where it meets the 3 line.